Hello. So in this video, we are going to see a mini project on how to run the Postman correction file via the Azure repository through its pipeline using a self-hosted agent, and this will cover the API testing concept via Azure cloud services. And in earlier videos, we have seen about the integration of GitHub and the GitLab actions, and also the flow of GitHub and Jenkins. So here in this video, we will see about Azure repository in place of the GitHub, and the Azure pipeline in place of the GitLab actions or the Jenkins. Uh, so the use case what we are going to see now is regarding placing the needed files in the Azure repository, then uh, creating a self-hosted Azure agent, because instead of waiting for the Microsoft team to approve our uh, you know privilege for running the pipelines, we can simply created a self-hosted agent and run instead of waiting time. That's the reason we have chosen, we have chosen the self-hosted Azure agent in place of the managed pipeline running option provided by the Azure service itself, just to save time. And then we create a Azure pipeline use and run the collection file placed in the Azure repository. So this is the use case we are planning to achieve. And steps wise, we need to first have a collection file along with the environment .json file ready. So have your collection file already available within the Postman tool. And I have taken the example of request response API. And once you place all the necessary uh, test case within each request, then you can uh, run this collection file locally within the Postman tool. This will give you an impression like how many tests you have, like 15 in our case we have. Now, if you observe the individual test case here, we have validated for five different validations here. So everything seems to have passed, and uh, similarly, you can create the test cases for other uh, endpoints, and finally you can run the collection file within Postman tool to see what are the list of success and failure response you are seeing. So uh, once you do that, you can export that particular collection file using this export option and save it locally within your system somewhere in this collection v 2.1 version. And similarly, if you have some environmental file also, you can export that uh, environmental file and store it locally in your system first. So it will be test.postman environment format, and in turn it will come as a JSON file only. So once you save it locally in your system, uh, the usual way of utilizing the Git bash for transferring files from your local system uh, uh, to remote system, we can do that. So just do git init followed by git add all the files from the uh, uh, respective folder location where you have locally placed these collection.json file and the environmental file. After that, you can try the git commit message for committing the files, and then you get this git remote add origin option in your Azure repository itself. So that command you can place here. So by default, it's going to be placed in your master branch. Once that's done, um, you can so before I can show you this screen, just a brief about the uh, Azure DevOps service. Here, uh, 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 here we have to first create an organization under the Azure DevOps. Once you do that organization, this particular a page within the Azure DevOps will be visible. So here you have a feature called a repository. Under that repository only, I have created this collection file, collection folder, and placed all these uh, details here, including the YAML file, which we'll speak in a minute from now. Now, uh, since that we have pushed all the files under my master branch, it's visible here. uh, that's the point I was trying to make. So once this is available, next item what we need to do is we need to set up that self-hosted agent here. So how do you do that? You go to your organizational uh, settings. You go to your organization level settings. You will see something called as the um, agent pools. Just a minute. Okay, so under this agent pool, we can utilize the default agent pool, or we can also create a separate agent pool for our reference. In my case, uh, I have planned to use the default one only. And once you go within that default pool, it will ask you to add an agent. That is the new agent you have to add under that agent pool. So once you click on this, it will show you a sequence of steps to be followed, like downloading the agent. It will give you one zip file, and how that zip file is going to look. The this manner only, and in the same downloads area, you need to run the commands given here. So once you do that, you need to run this config.cmd and also run.cmd. Both of these things have to be done. It is going to ask you sequence of steps while doing this configuration, config.cmd. Default values you can select by hitting enter always. It will also ask for the personal access token that you can generate under your user settings here. Personal access token. You can create a PAT, personal access token, for the complete access. Like you can say new token, give some valid values, custom access or full access you can define, take for a specific time period. and it will give you one pad token. You have to utilize it while using that config uh, .cmd command. Okay. Uh, I believe we were under this particular screen only. Yeah. So here, while doing this configuration, you have to give that personal access token, and you can run the particular self-hosted agent as a service. One such option will come, so you can say yes and continue further. And uh, where I have done that, maybe I can show you one glimpse. It will give you an idea. So I have set config, so this will run. You are giving your personal access. I mean, you have to give your server URL first. So this will be your organization name. In my case, it is RA Balaji KVR 0410 followed by the PAT token. So it's connecting to the server, and for registering the agent, you need to give some agent pool name. In my case, I'm using the default, as I said, and the default agent name also I'm giving a desktop, this one, and this default agent name only, if you observe, it will be visible here. Okay. And later it's asking for uh, replace. So I have set the default value of no. Then a default work folder, it's underscore work. That also I have kept it as default only. Enter run agent as service. I have said yes, so it's running as a service. Then enter user account to use for service. It's asking. So this also I have given the default value only. Granting file permission to this, I've set as default ax value. Then it's saying it's successfully installed, and finally it's asking enter whether to prevent service starting immediately after configuration is finished. So default value, yeah, I can just hit enter. Then you will get this final message started successfully, and this is your service name, and this service name you should see under your task manager services area. Okay, this will be running for you now. So until this point, if you have done, it will still show you offline value here only. So to make this online, you need to use that run service under your agent folder. This agent folder is nothing but the unzipped version of that zip folder. And if you hit this run and run this command file, it should be running something like this. So it will say that connecting the server and listening for jobs and running. So this listening for jobs message should come. That's when you will see the transition from offline to online here, and this should always be enabled. So this makes the self-hosted agent running from your local Windows system up and running now. So for creating pipeline, you need to hit this pipeline area, and once you do that, you can create a new pipeline. I have already created one, but steps I will just show once uh, how to create a fresh one. So you can select Azure Repos Git, because you already have the necessary files in your Azure Repo. Click that, and this is the repository name I have, so that I can select with me. The existing Azure pipelines YAML file I'm going to use. Since I have already configured one, I can explain that in some time. And the path will be under the master branch. This is the path. So you will say continue, and you can simply say run, which will create a new pipeline and save it and provide. Uh, we are not going to do that now. Let's jump back to the pipelines area only. Uh, uh, this is the pipeline what I have created, and the most recent one, if you observe, that will be in a green tick mark, which means it's run successfully. Now let's understand that YAML file. Uh, so this YAML file we are seeing, whenever there is a trigger to the master branch, you can uh, run this pipeline. whenever there is any change to the master branch. And pull request, whenever it happens, then you are going to say run this pipeline. So that's the meaning. Now pool is the agent pool. We are utilizing the default one, as I said already, for the self-hosted agent. That's why we are keeping this. And this is nothing but for the node.js installation. We will need the node version to be mentioned. So variables declaration we are making separately here. So one for the node version, one for the collection path, because under the collections folder of the repository we are keeping the collection file here. That's why. And then your environmental file, this one. And a report directory name we are mentioning one as a Newman hyphen report. Report file will be with this naming structure. Then we have several stages, starting with uh, the stage run Newman. Under that, we have several jobs. The first job is run Newman job. So we are doing the checkout action for the files available within the repo to be checked out for executing in the pipeline level. Then we are keeping a task to install Node.js here, and this node version is the variable what we have declared on top of this YAML file. We are giving a display name to this, and then this is for uh, installation of the Newman and its reporter file. And echo commands are just like printing some details in the console of the pipeline. That's why we are doing this to get better traceability of events that are happening in the pipeline run. And then the next item is creating the report directory for the files to be result files to be saved, so that we are achieving it using the mkdir report directory. Then next is your Newman run command we are passing along with the collection file, environmental file, and then the reporting part for CLI and HTML part. And then uh, we are these are the additional details only for reporting path, title, theme, and then environment data, all those things. So these are additionals. And next item, uh, this is for your just tracking sake whether the report got generated or not. Additional set of echo commands we are keeping to print in the pipeline console level. And then next item, we are publishing that HTML report in the pipeline as an artifact so that we can download. So that's the uh, details about the YAML file. Now, once any change is done to this particular branch through a trigger or a pull request, as I told, the pipeline will get triggered. So that way also is possible, or we can run the pipeline manually also here. Run pipeline under the master branch. We can say just run. And now the most recent one. Let's take. Uh, if you observe, one job called run Newman is available, and you will see several steps under this. First is the initialize job for the agent name, agent pool, all those things basics. Check out a task for taking the files from the repo and keeping it available for the pipeline to execute. This for the node installation part. This, I mean, the Node.js, and the next one is for the Newman and the Newman HTML reporter installation. This is for the directory creation for results file storage. Then running the collection file, and you will see that all the endpoints are getting executed one after the other here. And finally, the uh, uh, console level status is shown to you, displaying how many test cases were run, how many assertions, how much of them passed, what are the details of run duration. All such things will be available here. And this is for the HTML report, whether it got generated or not. We are checking, and then after that we are publishing that HTML report, and this checkout again. Okay. And if we go back to the run, you will see one item called artifact one published here. If you click that, it will give you the Newman HTML extra report. And how that is going to look, it will be in this manner. Once you download, you'll be able to open it. It gives you a clear summary indicating the number of iterations run, assertions, how many, past failed, skipped, all such details. The same detail what we saw on the console level, we will be seeing it again here. And if we go to top, we will see the next tab called total request. This gives you the granular detail of each endpoint written under a folder level, and under each of this request you should be able to see the request information, meaning what method is that, what request URL, endpoint URL you have targeted, response information of the API, and the time it took, and also the size, and how much of test cases passed. Such details will be available. And request headers, whatever we see under the Postman tool for a particular request, um, under the request headers section, we should be able to see the same detail in your uh, uh, Newman report HTML run also here. And response headers you will see similarly, and response body you will get for the endpoint call whatever we made, the response body will also come. I was saying about the request headers. So this is the section of your request header. Similarly, under the response headers also, you will have all these details will be visible in your HTML report also. Now, back to this report, you will see that the response body is also available, and the test information. What are the different test cases you wrote, and whether they have passed or failed, and if at all they failed, what is the exact reason of failure? That will also be reflecting here. Okay, and next one will be for a specific section for the failed test and the skip the test. That's it. And uh, in this way we have uh, automated the uh, API testing collection file through the Azure and Azure repository. And yeah, that's it. Thanks.